another deck would have...
Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Prague, the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series of the year. 608 players made the trip to the Czech capital to make this most eastern tournament in Europe of all time.
Yep.
One of the larger ones, I would say.
Yep, and it's in Central.
Central,
not...
Yeah, just said easternmost.
Yeah.
All right.
The easternmost Central.
In this round, we have two superstars who are almost on the bubble. Not exactly. They could actually drop one more match, but they definitely don't want to lose one more match. They want to stay ahead of the field. And so that's why it's quite exciting to have Frederico Zoppini and Jean-Leu from Belgium in our feature match area.
Definitely. Now, what's interesting is one of them is running Nekroz and the other one is running Qliphort.
Yes.
So it's nice to see a Qliphort deck again, basically, because we had a very good matchup in the first round, which was Qliphort versus Nekroz.
Yes.
Which we found that Qliphort just won out.
It is definitely equipped to take on the Nekroz archetype, which is the currently supposedly best deck in the format, is what many veterans are saying. However, I mean, Jean-Leu is a two-time national champion, the reigning Belgian national champion, so he should know what he's playing, and he's got
definitely
pretty good reason why he's running Qliphort.
And I'm pretty sure he understands that he's probably going up against a Nekroz deck as well.
Yes.
So he is ready for it.
If you're playing against somebody like Frederico Zoppini, who is always playtesting with those guys that tend to reach the tops over and over again, you will expect them to play the supposedly best deck in the format.
Yep. We don't actually have a deck list for the Qliphort deck.
I will telegraph that there are going to be 3 Qliphort Scout.
Yes, there will be 3. There'll be some Qliphort Stealths. There may be a Recreate.
Yep. Carrier.
Yep.
So, well, we know the drill.
It will be a Qliphort deck.
And the same is true, in a way, for the Nekroz archetype. Very few surprises here. I mean, we got a Denko Sekka in the main deck. That you don't see that every day.
No.
And an Effect Veiler as well in the main deck.
Yep, there's a Effect Veiler in the main deck there. Just kind of interesting, just in general.
Right. And let's take you to the feature match table where these two guys are ready. And so they can get started. You can see Frederico Zoppini on the left-hand side and Jean-Leu on the right-hand side. They shake hands. And on the right-hand side, in the screen, you can see the contents of their respective hands.
Yeah.
So Jean-Leu is kicking things off, and he's got the Qliphort Scout.
So he is ready with his Searcher.
Yeah, it's the most important card, the glue that holds the whole Qliphort archetype together. 800 life points, 1 more Qliphort monster from your deck.
Yeah, it's just Qliphort card as well. So I believe what he's got there is a Sacrifice. So down comes a Stealth with a Sacrifice and 2 set cards. That's a Vanity's Emptiness and a Fiendish Chain. Also possibly a Mind Crush. It depends what he's set down there. We'll just wait until...
were the cards in his hand. Yeah, he kept the Fiendish Chain.
And he's set that Mind Crush the perfect moment.
Why not draw? Why not drop all the cards so you are 100% sure that Trishula is not going to hit you?
Interesting. I'm not quite sure why he didn't. It could be that he wanted to keep it back and he didn't want to lose the card straight away to anything that they might do.
To like an MST, for example.
Oh, no, there's MST and the Decisive Armor as well.
Yeah. All right. So the opening for Frederico Zoppini is a Sentry of the 10,000 hands. He goes then for a Nekroz cycle. However, the Vanity's Emptiness shutting down his offense.
Yep. Now that looks like it's a couple of shared rides that are going face down there.
Yes, and he's still got a Nekroz of Unicorn in hand and an Effect Veiler.
So the Fiendish Chain.
You know, he passed play. Jean-Leu activates the Scout, and the first shared ride gets activated, so he gets to draw a card while Jean-Leu is able to search his deck and add something.
Yeah. Now he also has another Stealth in hand, so if he was to tribute the Stealth, it would get rid of his Vanities. So yeah, he's not gonna risk getting rid of his Vanity's Emptiness.
I think he wants to. I think he wants to gain as much of an advantage as possible, and that means make sure that this card hangs around for a little longer.
Pretty much. Now he really needs, like, I would say an MST to get rid of this right now, or a Book of Moon, or a Book of Eclipse.
You're talking about Federico, or?
Yes, I'm talking about Frederico. He needs it. He needs that to be able to flip face down, to get rid of the sacrifice, to get rid of the...
Speaking of the Book of Eclipse, there we have it.
Got it there.
Yeah, but very good news for Jean-Leu Bernard is that Federico didn't have an MST, because otherwise he could just chain that to the effect of the scout and make sure...
Search, yes.
Yeah.
Whilst he's still paying life points.
Deny the search, yeah, still make him pay 800. But he's only running one copy in the main deck, and
Yes,
you
of
do
Mystical
not
Space
agree with that.
I do not. Mystical Space Typhoon should be at 3. But he is also running, as we said, a Denko Seka main deck.
Yeah, so there goes the sacrifice, and with it, the Vanity's Emptiness. And sacrifice, of course, triggers, which causes Federico Zoppini to activate his second shared right, so he will get to draw a card once the sacrifice resolved. Those black sleeves make it a little bit harder to make out where the cards are, even though you can tell that because the markings are no longer visible. This is where the cards are. Right, so here we have Federico Zoppini's hand. And just for your reference, this is what Jean-Leu Bernard is holding on to.
Yeah, stealth there. A new card, incredibly powerful.
Yeah, let's bring that card up for you guys.
It does have incredibly small text.
Yeah, it's like all the Qliphort monsters you can normal summon it without tributing, of course. Then it goes, its level goes down, and both its ATK goes down to 100. Well, 4 and 1800 respectively.
Yeah.
And
when it's a normal summoned, and if it's summoned by tributing Qli monsters, you can target one card on the field and return it to the hand, and your opponent cannot respond to the activation of the effect.
That's the important part about that effect text, that your opponent cannot respond to that. Which makes sense, because it's stealth.
Yeah.
You cannot see it coming. All right, so Federico Zoppini just checked his graveyard as far as I can see, making sure that he's not missing out on anything, and he might have asked the judge something, and now he's good to go again. There is Denko Seka, one of the superstar cards back in Madrid, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Madrid and Milan.
Yeah. So now denying his opponent the back row completely. And with the preparation of rights, he's going to pull ahead a little bit further.
He is definitely set up to be able to bring out a nice big monster, get rid of the scout, not the scout, sorry, the stealth, although without having to worry about anything that's set face down at the moment.
Yeah, and Jean-Leu Bernard is seemingly a little bit nervous with that shaking his foot. You could tell that the whole chair was moving with him because he was rocking it.
I believe he's just asking. I think he's just asking whether you can activate it without a target engrave.
The preparation of rights.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's a very flexible card. You can even use it when you don't have two legal targets, so to speak. So the judge is clarifying that. And with that, we can continue. So this is the hand of Federico Zoppini. And with Brynek, he's got, well, access to all of his deck, really.
Pretty much. Doesn't have to worry much whatsoever.
Yeah, so many search effects. The reason why Nekroz is such a consistent deck, because half of your cards allow you to search for other cards.
Yeah.
So you'll always find the card you're looking for.
Yeah, you can always use Bryonic to search for Claw Solus, which lets you get a spell card, and then your spell cards allow you to search for... Your ritual spell cards allow you to search for other ritual spell cards as well, by banishing them from the graveyard if you control nothing.
What exactly is going through Federico Zoppini's head here? What is he aiming for?
Something big, basically.
Yeah, so
he wants to try and just make it so that his opponent doesn't have a larger attack than him.
Yeah,
and also wants to get cards into his hand to stop his cards being targeted.
So he just went searching. Now there's the Nekroz kaleidoscope that allows him to send an Herald of the Arclight from his extra deck to the graveyard. And with that he gets to ritual summon yet another monster, which in this case is the Nekroz of Unicorn.
Now, because he's sent Herald of the Arclight there, he's able to also get a ritual spell card.
Yeah, so many things that intertwine and work well together in this deck.
A lot of searches. Now, also, Unicorn's effect is stopping any monster summoned from the extra deck having an effect.
Yeah, that is definitely bad news for the Qliphorts. Although half the time they actually enter play from the hand, so it's not as well crippling as it is for other decks like Burning Abyss, for example.
Well, the biggest issue with Qliphort is if you've got Scout or Monolith in either of your zones, or any Qliphort Pendulum monster, you won't be able to summon anything other than Qli monsters.
Yeah, and there you can see Frederico Zoppini thinking about the next search, and this is really crucial in this deck. All the veterans tell me this: if you mess up one search, you might have already lost the game right there. So even though the deck is very powerful, you need to make sure that you're following it through and being careful when you're making your moves. So both of these guys have 12 points at the time of this recording. So they are on 4-1 as a record. If they add another victory, they are in day 2. If they lose, and would then lose again in the last round, they would not, or most likely not, make day 2 unless they get really lucky with tiebreakers and everything.
It's also really important for them to make that day 2 as well.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of people would have spent a lot of money to get here as well.
Yeah.
It would be crushing to not make day 2.
All right, and there were some attacks. So Jean-Leu Bernard falls to 4,100 life points, and then, not that surprising, the Nekroz archetype not wanting to set any cards, especially not with Denko Sekka on the field.
He doesn't actually have any trap cards whatsoever. It only actually uses quick play spell cards. Which means that it doesn't have to worry about trap stuns, it doesn't have to worry about raw decrees either.
Yeah.
Now, just drawn into a skill drain there, really not of much help. Now, something that he could possibly do.
Well, he starts with a search, or continues with a search.
Yeah, I can see what he can do here. He wants to look for something to put in his other pendulum zone. Because basically he's then going to be able to equip Sacrifice to the stealth that's in the extra deck there. Then tribute summon his second stealth, bouncing something back to hand, and then attacking. Now there's the Monolith. Monolith will also let him draw cards as well.
So this stealth effect is going to be negated, thanks to the Nekroz of Unicorn, because it was special summoned from the extra deck.
Yep.
However, that doesn't apply to the other stealth that is going to hit play in just a second, at least if your telegraph was correct. And yes, there is the tribute summon. So Qliphorts, they have a couple of ways to attack the opponent.
Now, Unicorn is not a fantastic thing to have to send back to the hand because he can just discard it. But sending Denko Sekka is even worse. And that's what he's done. Basically, he's set himself up, unfortunately, to be underneath that Denko Sekka's lock again. If he would have left Denko Sekka out in play, he could have just attacked over it, and he's got a skill drain. So he wouldn't have had to care.
But what about activating the skill drain before Denko Sekka comes down?
He could do that. It just depends how he plays it through next.
Well, I'm pretty certain that Bernard has a game plan here, knowing him. He will... So what's next? An attack over the Nekroz of Unicorn, I presume?
Yep, but there is a Valkyrus there.
Oh yeah. You can... It's so confusing that even if there's nothing on the field, the Nekroz even have ways to interact with you.
Yep, and Nekroz of Valkyrus is basically turn any of your Nekroz cards in your graveyard into Necro Gardener and then discard the card.
Yeah, and it's even a better Necro Gardener because it doesn't just negate the attack, it ends the battle phase
as well, yes.
Yeah, it's like a Swift Scarecrow. Alright, so here's a quick graveyard check.
Really thinking. Has he passed turn there without setting the skill drain?
No, I think he's considering attacking and wants to know before he attacks if there's what options Federico has. There is the attack, no Valkyros, and maybe because
Mind Crush on
Mind Crush on
Denko
Denkasek. Yeah, he's got.
There you go. He's got his game plan.
Yeah, that's. I think that's even more effective than the skill drain because he's not giving away that he has the skill drain, and again checking the graveyard really quickly. All colors of the rainbow, thanks to those secret rares, and of course you got ritual monsters and synchro monsters, spell cards and effect monsters. He's just missing out on normal monsters and a fusion monster. All right. So what is next for Federico Zoppini? He banishes to go searching for a ritual spell.
Let's just, we got his hand up there. So he's got the Valkyros. The Valkyros has a large attack in itself. It's 2,900.
Yeah, so it can actually deal with the big Qliphort monsters.
Yep. Now, not only that, Nekroz Mirror is going to allow him to actually slash summon from his graveyard. I'm not quite sure what he has in there currently. Okay.
There's a Senju, and there comes the skill drain. So Jean-Leu falling down to just 2,300 life points, but that is something you see the veteran players do very, very often. They don't care about their life points as long as they are hanging in there, even if they're just hanging in there by a thread. They are going to be happy if they can deny their opponents the effects, for example, or another summon or something like that.
Life points are just a resource. You're not in trouble unless you've got 0.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to play cards like Skill Drain as long as it, well, fits with the overall strategy of your deck, which is definitely the case for the Qliphorts.
Yeah. Now, he does also have a Fiendish Chain set.
Yeah, so good protection here, really, from Jean-Leu Bernard.
Yep, he can bring out the Valkyros, but it's really not going to help him. And
yeah, the Mind Crush is gone. The Skill Drain is face up. And it always looks a little confusing because you see so many monster cards, but 2 of those are actually spells because they are in the pendulum zones. Those are the Scout and the Monolith.
Monolith, a really quite good card that came out in the recent set. It's designed basically to sit opposite Scout and allow you to draw cards.
All right, and Federico Zoppini thinking hard what to do next here. His Senju on the field is not going to do much. And we have a Manchu in hand, Nekroz Cycle, Nekroz of Valkyros, Nekroz Mirror.
I can't see much that's actually...
There is
I can't really see what's in his graveyard, so...
Well, I'm pretty certain there's a Brainak there because he went searching at some point earlier.
Yeah.
And I think a Unicorn as well.
Okay. And
so
Valkyros hits play. Come out. Yeah.
Yep. So Valkyros attacks.
Nope.
But there is the Fiendish Chain. So...
No, he has actually played the Mirror to get that out, rather than the other card in his hand.
Yeah, so there we go. This is the current cards in Federico Zoppini's hand. And
so he does have another Mirror.
Yeah, he can go searching again, of course, but for another ritual spell. But I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, and it seems that, yes, it is Jean-Leu Bernard's turn, who just drew into a Qliphort shell, immediately indicates that he's going to search for Qliphort Scout, dropping to 1,500 life points. But again, it really doesn't matter as long as he's hanging in there and he can wrap things up. How does he get over Nekroz of Valkyros?
Well, that's what I'm just having a look to see what he's doing. Oh, actually, Sacrifice gives plus 300 attack.
All right, so that would be one option. And as you pointed out earlier, he can search for any Qli card. It doesn't need to be a monster.
Yep, and at the moment, he can just normal summon that shell, and I believe it actually has 2,900 attack. Could be 2,900, could be 2,800.
Yeah, there's the Sacrifice. He's going to equip it, most likely. And it looks like he's going to equip it.
He could also Pendulum Summon.
Yes.
Which would give him 2,000. It would give him 4 cards with 2,800 attack.
Yeah, so Pendulum Summon from the hand, not from the extra deck.
And from the extra deck.
I always thought it's either or.
Nope, it's and.
Oh my. So Federico Zoppini is in a world of trouble. Woof. Put a lot of damage on the field attack, and now he needs a Nekroz of Valkyros, but in his hand, but he doesn't have it there. So he's taking a lot of damage. In fact, so much that he has to pack up and go looking for some options in his side deck.
That was absolutely huge.
Yes, absolute great play by Jean-Leu, who didn't mind falling down to just 1,500 life points, because he knew that eventually there's going to be an opportunity like this one where he can just attack for game with a gigantic field thanks to a gigantic Pendulum Summon.
Well, a lot of the Qliphort cards have massive attacks, and they can just be normal summoned as well, straight into under a skill drain, just straight to have massive attack again.
Yeah. So Federico Zoppini definitely wants to introduce some more Mystical Space Typhoons.
Yep.
And he's got 2 more copies, so he can max out on them in his side deck.
You can also bring back in another Denko Sekka.
Yeah. And with 3 Twister, he could have all the answers he needs to stop both the Qliphort Scout as well as all the back row cards that his opponent is running.
He also has the option of Fire Hand and Ice Hand. Unfortunately, I do believe that they have to send a card to the graveyard to work.
Yeah, they need to end up in the graveyard, and then the other comes out.
I mean, the only thing that he's really got is the Ice Hand will destroy a spell or trap card.
Yes. The hands are really good against Qliphort. Often you can, first of all, you got a very good opening play by just setting them, which is very unusual.
I would say by setting maybe Ice Hand, but not Fire Hand as such, because Fire Hand needs to destroy a monster. It's going straight to the extra deck. You're not getting any sort of plus out of it. Ice Hand is going to get rid of one of the Pendulum cards. Yeah. And then summon a Fire Hand.
Well, I've seen that in a couple of games where the Qliphort player goes for Scout, searches, brings something out, attacks into the face-down monster because he doesn't really see anything threatening, and then the Ice Hand gives him a lot of trouble.
Yeah. The Scout disappears, and then a Fire Hand's there that's threatening to destroy one of your monsters. I mean, maybe... Yeah, because you can even see that he's running 2 Fire Hand and 3 Ice Hand.
Yes.
Maybe it's worth siding just the 1 Fire Hand and 2 Ice Hand.
So unfortunately, we still don't have the deck list of Jean-Leu, so we can't really tell you what he is going to bring in. What do you expect from a Qliphort player?
Against a Nekroz? It's hard to tell. I mean, Mistake is a good one, but also stops himself. It's really hard to tell. There's been so many kind of different side decks that we've seen so far. Yeah, I would say Anti-Spell Fragrance, but again, that messes with Qliphort more than it does Nekroz. It's, yeah. All
right, but both of these guys are ready for the second game, and there we go with Jean-Leu starting with a carrier, 3 back rows, and that is it.
We'll be able to see what it is that he's got in a second.
Yep, and I see a Twister in Federico Zoppini's hand. There we go. Got a Soul Transition. That's definitely a card from the side deck.
It's one of the brand new cards.
There you go. You can tribute 1 level 4 normal summon set monster and draw 2 cards. So quite nice to chain it to some removal spell or something.
Yep.
And yeah, Federico Zoppini starting with a Manchu of 10,000 hands, but Phoenix Chain is saying no.
As it does.
He's not chaining the Twister, possibly saving it for something even more
annoying.
Restrictive. Yeah, annoying is another good word for that.
There is actually 2 Fiendish Chains set currently as well. So Twister will probably see play. And there's the Fire Hand, as we were just talking about.
Yep. So I would say this is a pretty good hand.
It's, yeah, actually. It's got Nekroz Mirror, it's got a Shurik, and it's got a Clorsalis. Oh.
Ooh.
That is an issue. Oh,
wow,
dearie me.
Vanity's Fiend. Yes, we don't have it.
Vanity's Fiend is basically Vanity's Emptiness.
On legs.
Literally, it's the same card.
It is, yeah, it is basically the absolutely same card. 2,400 attack. It's a little bit like a Monarch, a tribute monster. And it says no more special summons. And now Federico Zoppini is in a world of trouble. But he does have the Fire Hand. Oh, Fire Hand doesn't even do anything because no special summons.
Well, it can still destroy.
Well, no, the hands say
Let's just bring it up.
Yeah, let's bring it up and make it a little bit easier. I think they need to be special summoned from the deck and then they trigger and destroy. No, you think when they are destroyed?
I believe that it's if they destroy something, then, yeah.
Oh, yes, it's the other way around.
Destroy and then.
And then you can special summon, okay.
Yeah, so you can just attack straight into it there.
So he's got the perfect answer and that really hurts Jean-Leu Bernard, although he's got another Fiendish Chain. And a Skill Drain. Skill Drain is not helpful because it's a graveyard effect, but a Fiendish Chain would stop the Fire Hand from attacking into Vanity's Fiend.
Yes, it would.
All right. So he's setting it. Yes, he did set the Fire Hand, and he's got 2 more back row cards. That's possibly a Twister.
Twister and the
one of the 2 ritual spells. Oh, there's the attack.
Oh dear.
That is the Fire Hand. And Jean-Leu Bernard didn't seem surprised. He immediately put it away. So it seemed like he was...
And out comes the Ice Hand.
Problem... Yeah, that's... I don't know if I would have attacked here, to be honest. I mean, if you see the writing on the wall, if you expect a Fire Hand, do you not just sit there and hold on tight?
The issue is, I don't think he was expecting a Fire Hand.
Oh, okay. What do you think he was expecting?
I really don't know. I think he was expecting that he can't special summon anymore, so he needs to protect his life points.
Oh, I would be surprised about that. With 7,000 life points, that's a pretty comfortable...
Okay, down comes the disc.
All right.
It's been normal summoned.
And now Federico Zoppini can attack into the disc. It's his turn, right? I think Jean-Leu Bernard simply passed play.
Yeah.
Telegraphing a Skill Drain.
Ooh. Rather than the
Soul Transition.
Just draw 2 cards. Completely understand.
Interesting. So he takes the damage. Doesn't mind. And 3 back row cards for Federico Zoppini is a Space Typhoon, a Twister, and a Kaleidoscope.
Okay, so let's see what Jean-Leu's just...
Yeah, we don't have it yet, but we're going to have it in just a second. It's a back row card.
It's a Mirror Force.
It's a Mirror Force.
Which unfortunately doesn't actually help. It's destroyed by any way it will be able to destroy a...
Yeah, these hands really, really pesky. And is Jean-Leu Bernard, I think he just takes the damage again.
Yeah, I think he wants to save his negation for a big Nekroz monster.
Yeah, so we won't see that many Qliphort Scout searches in this game. And he immediately passes back to Federico Zoppini, who's got such a good hand, really.
Yeah.
This is looking really, really good for him. So there's a Senchu, and it's possibly causing Jean-Leu Bernard to flip the Skill Drain. No, he's not. He indicates with a thumbs up, go for it. Search.
That's because there's a Mind Crush face down.
Ah, yes. So
He also has the Vanities.
And a Sacrifice in hand and another Skill Drain. So, I mean, he's got something. He just needs some monsters to protect his life points, really. But the hands, they really mess up the strategy of the Qliphort archetype so much. All right, so Federico Zoppini is searching. Or did he search for the Unicorn?
I believe he just searched for the Senju.
Yeah, for the Senju still. Yeah, so we're missing 1 card. And
Mind Crush?
there is the Mind Crush.
responsive mirror force.
Ooh, and that is a good play because
that actually
the
make
ice hand should miss the timing. Let's see. It says you can target, so it is an optional effect, and the last thing in the resolution of the chain needs to be the destruction of the ice hand. However, since the way that Jean-Leu built the chain, the Mind Crush is the last thing that happens, so Federico would discard, and thus denying him the effect of the ice hand. What a masterful play.
That's a really good play, but what is it that he declared with his Mind Crush?
I would expect the ritual spell card that Federico was searching for before. Now...
Okay. We're just going to special summon Trishula.
Oh.
Trishula is going to be Phoenix Chained.
Yeah, that's...
Ooh. Space Typhoon and Chain of Skill Drain. Unfortunately, that takes him under the...
he's on 2,800 and he's going to take 2,700 from the attack.
He's going to be on
100 life points. Yeah, hanging on by a thread. And with just the sacrifice and the skill drain in hand, it's definitely not looking good for Jean-Leu Bernard. Or if Federico Zoppini is not quite done yet, it's looking even worse.
I don't believe there is much that he can do there because he controls a monster. He can't activate in the graveyard any of his ritual cards to gain another ritual.
Yeah, so, but there won't be another special summon for Federico Zoppini, I think. Can he activate the Nekroz Mirror? Which makes me wonder if he still got the Nekroz Mirror in hand and he already activated the Nekroz Cycle, what was named for the Mind Crush?
Interesting. Yeah, he's
unfortunately
Jean-Leu Bernard is
and yes, that should be more than enough. Federico Zoppini gets to search his deck for whatever reason, even though Jean-Leu Bernard is in the red zone, so to speak, and with two big monsters on the field, that's gonna be deciding, I think.
Nekroz still being the same bad big blue elephants that they are.
Yes. If you like blue cards, Nekroz is the way to go. All right, so that is the equalizer, really. And again, we see a player watching his opponent play it out until the very end to see if they are searching for something that is very weird. But yeah, you're not going to get that much information out of it, I guess.
Okay.
Oh.
So looks like he had another turn there.
Yeah, but how come? Oh, wait, yes, it was the battle phase and he had the Mind Crush and this,
yes.
Of course, all the other things,
attacked.
Yeah, all the other things just happened in main phase too. Good. So, my God.
Unfortunately, it doesn't stop anything.
Yeah, he's got to sacrifice Skill Drain and a Mind Crush. None of these cards can prevent an attack from connecting. And so as soon as Federico Zoppini advances to the battle phase in this turn, it's going to be game. And there it is. The first attack.
He's really thinking about it. Do I attack? Maybe?
And
possibly?
Jean-Leu Bernard is ready to pack things up, I think.
Like, this card is very pretty, but if it's destroyed, it won't be very pretty anymore.
Yeah,
attack.
These mind games don't really work against these guys. Yeah, so that's it. The equalizer, of course, 1-1. Federico Zoppini versus Jean-Leu Bernard. And Federico Zoppini, he knows how to come back from defeat. He has been very close to the top of the field in 2 events, in fact, where he advanced to the top 8. First time he got kicked out in the top 8. Second time he made it to the semi-finals, then got kicked out. But he's still improving from event to event. That's how it feels to me.
He's doing really, really well. Now, he is actually siding again.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I mean, it depends on... I think we just had an announcement in the other part of the venue, which indicates that it's the end of the time. In
now, we did actually start just a little bit late.
Yeah, so we might have around 5 to 7 more minutes, something like that. So, and both, you can tell sometimes when they are drawing and they're a little bit faster than usually, that they are also, they don't want to go to the timeout. Although I guess it's hard to avoid in this situation. All right, and Jean-Leu Bernard is kicking things off in the final deciding duel.
He's got his carrier, 2 set cards there, which our staff are just checking up on.
Yes, that's the carrier. And we're waiting for the information. You just saw that in the side camera, how our volunteers are looking over the shoulders of the players and making sure that they get everything right so they can enter it into the app, which we can then show for you guys.
Yep.
So this is the carrier again. Currently 1,800 attack and level 4. And it's joined by a mirror force and a soul transition. And again, a very good opening for Frederico Zoppini. At least the ice hand is very important to interfere with the plans of the Qliphort deck.
Okay, and... oh.
Yeah, there's the carry again that just got sent to the extra deck.
Oh. That makes sense. Does Soul Transition tribute a monster?
Yes.
Then Carrier's effect activates.
Ah, so
suddenly it's making a lot more sense why Soul Transition is in the deck.
Yeah.
Because if it's tributed,
it returns the ice hand to the hand.
It doesn't have to be for
any Qliphort effect or...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so the ice hand back in Frederico Zoppini's hand now goes for Nekroz Kaleidoscope with Shred.
And then Gungnir hits the field.
Yeah.
Which allows him to discard a card and destroy a card on the field. So
it's interesting because we haven't seen Gungnir at all this weekend.
Well, we've seen it
like
in people's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nobody's
not
actually
on the field, yeah.
Oh, there was one time when they used the effect so it wasn't destroyed, but by a mirror force.
Yeah.
That's the
other possible use for this card.
So he'll be discarding a card and destroying the back row as soon as he's finished searching there. For the Shurrit, I do believe.
All right, so Frederico Zoppini is searching for the right card. And he's now got a good setup with a Senju of 1,000 hands that can search him something from his deck. Nekroz of Unicorn and the Nekroz of Trishula. So it's Jean-Leu Bernard's turn and he's got a Vanity's Fiend.
It's a little bit late.
Yep. As a second copy, in fact, that he drew into. I didn't get that at first. And with 2 discs and a carrier, it's not looking that good.
Well, he has the ability to be able to bring out this. Okay.
He just summons a carrier and passes play.
Okay, I think he's attempting to say, please attack me so I can mirror force you. Either that or...
Yeah, but is that a smart play when there's a Gungnir on the field that can just
get rid of the...
Yeah. So there's a Senju. And all of those 1,000 hands grabbing cards from the deck. Yeah, it's really bad news for Jean-Leu Bernard. Even if he were to draw into a Qliphort Scout, with the Gungnir on the field, the Nekroz player can easily get rid of it and deny him the searches. Such a disruptive card if it's left unchecked.
Yeah.
And he's
clearing the field just a little bit.
Yeah, 1 card at a time.
Yep.
And he needs something like a Raigeki, really. I mean, the Mirror Force, if it resolves.
That is one of the issues if it resolves currently.
I mean, there is a chance that he doesn't want to discard for Gungnir, targeting the back row card because it might be a skill drain.
This is true. But at this point, it looks like he is going to be going for the Trishula. Yep, there's Trishula.
There it is, yes. And he knows that the back row card, if it's skill drain, it needs to be activated now. Yeah,
Spanish.
Federico Zoppini not in any playful mood, immediately going for the back row. The only real defense that Jean-Leu Bernard has. And there is the Mirror Force, banished as well. And that's very commanding position that Federico Zoppini is sitting in.
It's huge. Now he's just checking his graveyard again to see if he can make this even bigger.
Yeah.
Looking at it, he's normal summon this turn, so Ice Hand is not going to help him.
Yeah, and he's missing a ritual spell card. However, he can just banish it from his graveyard, the one that he just played, right?
I do believe that you have to have no monsters on the field to be able to use that effect.
Ah, yes. All right, so that's it for the time being, but that is like more than enough to put Jean-Leu in a world of trouble, really.
Yeah.
Who's lost more than half of his life points here. Or around half his life points. It's a 2-7, 1-4, 4-1, yeah, more than half of his life points. In one big swing, so he's now on 3,800 life points, and it's his turn. With two Vanities Fiend in hand that don't do anything on their own, and a Qliphort Disc.
And here's what possibly could be the last card. Yep,
And
it's
there
the
it
last
is,
card.
yeah, there's the handshake. No time wasted for Jean-Leu, and Federico Zoppini walks away victorious. Very, very good play.
I mean, when you've got a 2,500 attack and 2,700 attack on the field, and the best you can do is a 2,400 attack that says that your opponent can't special summon.
Yeah.
But your opponent's already special summoned everything that they're going to need to do. There really is nothing that he could have done there.
Yeah. And yeah, very good comeback from Federico Zoppini after that initial first game where he dropped the game.
Yep.
With Qliphort pulling ahead a little bit, but second and third game, well, first of all, he played